Northern Colorado. This is Dave, K0HAK. I'm located in Fort Collins, and I will be net control for tonight's NCARC TechNet. The purpose of the TechNet is to enlighten amateur radio operators on topics of a technical nature. We will do our best to answer any technical questions to benefit all listening. If a subject has never been clear to you, this is an excellent opportunity to find an answer. If anyone feels they have information that will help regarding that subject, please give your call sign and Net Control will call on you. When checking in, please give your call sign slowly, first alphabetically, then again using the ITU phonetic alphabet, along with your name and location. When checking in, please state if you have a topic that you would like to discuss. I will be taking check-ins in groups of 3. When I have recorded the first group of 3, I will move on to the next group of 3. And I will start by taking check-ins from any Echolink users. Any call signs Alpha through Zulu, tuning in via Echolink, please call now. All right, I will now take check-ins over the air from call prefixes Alpha through Mike. Alpha through Mike, please call now.
FBO, Whiskey Alpha 9, Foxtrot Bravo Oscar, Bob in Laporte.
This is N0EMP, November 0 Echo Mike Papa, Greg in Fort Collins, with Debbie, K0DBE, Kilo 0 Delta Bravo Echo. No topic.
All right, we'll go ahead and pause there for a second. I have WA9FB0 Bob, N0EMP Greg, and K0DBE Debbie. Let's go with the next group of 3, please. Alpha through Mike.
This is KF0GQI, Kilo Foxtrot 0, Golf Quebec, India, Duncan Pierce, no traffic.
This is KF0ODD, Kilo Foxtrot 0, Oscar Delta Delta, Paul from Berthoud, no traffic.
This is 0 Kilo Juliet Mike, W0KJM Kyle, Fort Collins, no traffic.
All right, we'll pause there. I have KF0GQI Doc, KF0ODD Paul, W0KJM Kyle. Let's go with the next group of 3, Alpha through Mike, please.
This is Kilo 0 Lima Echo Echo, K0LEE Lee and Greeley.
Let's hold up right there for a sec. We had a doubling station come back.
This is AF7MO Roger in Windsor.
All right, Net would like to welcome K0LEE Lee, N0BNK Rick, AF7MO Roger. Let's go ahead and open this up to Alpha through Zulu. Alpha through Zulu, please call now.
This is Kilo Bravo 0 Yankee Delta November, KB0YDN, Eric Pinewood Lake, no traffic. This is N0NYY, November 0, November Yankee, Bart in Evans. I am with N0QXQ, November 0, Quebec X-ray Quebec. Jean, Juliet Echo Alpha November, also in Evans.
All right, let's pause there for a sec. I have KB0YDN Eric, N0NYY Bart, N0QXQ Jean. Let's go ahead with the next group of 3, Alpha through Zulu.
This is KC0ZPY, Kilo Charlie 0 Zulu Papa Yankee, Jack Loveland, no traffic.
Whiskey Bravo 0, Quebec Golf Lima, WB0QGL, Jeff and Greeley, no traffic.
KJ6OBC, Kilo Golf 6, Oscar Bravo Charlie, Justin Mobile.
All right, let's hold up there. We have KC0ZPY Jack, WB0QGL Jeff, KG6OBC Justin. Let's go ahead with the next group of 3, Alpha through Zulu.
This is Kilo Foxtrot 0, Sierra
Let's pause there for just a second. I have KF0SG, and I think I dropped the last letter there. Kilo Foxtrot 0, Sierra Golf. Come back again. I'm sorry, I'm not quite catching that call. I don't know if you can bump your power or move to a different location.
This is Kilo Foxtrot 0, Sierra Golf Yankee.
Gotcha. Kilo Foxtrot 0, Sierra Golf Yankee. What was the name?
Pass from Severance.
Thank you. I got you in here. Let's go ahead with the next. Let's do group of 3.
This is Kilo India 0, Sierra Kilo, Eric in Fort Collins.
Easy yourself. Echo 0, Charlie Foxtrot Button Full Halt.
This is Foxtrot 0, Romeo Alpha, Chris, Kentucky.
All right, let's hold up there for a sec. Eric, I didn't quite copy you. Could you come back with your call?
The call is Kilo India 0, Sierra Kilo. QSL?
Kilo India 0, Sierra Kilo, is that correct? Got you in there, Eric. Ben, AECF, got you in there, Ben. And then Chris, you broke up a little bit while I was copying your call. Could you come back again?
Yeah, that was Kilo Foxtrot 0, Romeo Hotel Alpha, KF0RH.
KF0RHA, got you in there, Chris, thank you. All right, next group of 3, Alpha through Zulu, please.
E0 Lima Echo India, W0 LEI, Chad and Stout, no traffic.
All right, Chad, I have you in there, W0 LEI. Any other check-ins from call prefixes Alpha through Zulu?
W1VAN, Whiskey 1, Victor Alpha, November, Fort Collins.
All right, W1VAN, Ivan, I've got you in there. All right, let's open this up for discussions. Does anybody have any questions for the net tonight?
KF0OCW with a late check-in. Adrian in Fort Collins.
Thank you, Adrian. I got you in there, KF0OCW. Just calling again for anybody that has any topics for the net tonight.
K3SAD with a topic.
K3SAD, George, have you on the log tonight? This is K0HAK, Net Control. Go ahead with your topic, George.
I was wondering what the thoughts are on using a preamp on a repeater. I was thinking about perhaps playing around and making a small UHF repeater, and I've noted that you lose half your power going through a duplexer, so I was wondering what the thoughts were on using a preamp to increase the power back up to something more substantial, what people's thoughts were.
And 0 EMP.
Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, you're talking about a receive preamp?
Possibly, unless you have other suggestions.
No, just wanted to make sure we're on the same page. We actually added or I wasn't there when they did it, but the club added a receive preamp to the repeater at none. The possible issue is you want bandpass filtering on the preamp, so it's not being overloaded by broadcast FM and cell phone signals and things like that. So you want it to only see at a minimum just the band that you're working. Even better would be to narrow it down some more so it's not seeing GMRS. If you're doing a ham 70 centimeter repeater, you don't want it seeing a bunch of GMRS stuff that could cause intermod or desense it. And 0 EMP.
So follow up. What if you were to put the preamp on basically using the duplexer as your filter? Would that work if the duplexer is raised for the power?
Yeah, that's what we do on the received preamps that we put in is on our repeaters there's a separate connection for receive and transmit. So on the receive side, that coax goes to a preamp right before it goes into the receive side of the repeater. Trying to do that at Horsetooth where there's so much RF, it really just made things worse. But none is a very RF quiet site, so it seemed to help out there.
Okay, thank you. Back to Net.
Thanks for that input there, Greg. Just curious on that, is there any recommended equipment? I mean, I've got, preamps like for my SDRs and things like that. Is there anything different between the preamps for SDRs and the preamps that you would use in ham radio?
Just to the extent that you get what you pay for. Also, some of the weak signal guys, they're not doing repeaters, but they're doing VHF and UHF weak signal work, and they'll put the preamp right up at the antenna on top of the tower, so they're receiving or they're pre-amplifying their received signal as soon as possible before they have any loss in the transmission line. They also use hardline for transmission line, but they might have a run of over 100 feet. So they'll use a special received preamp that detects transmit RF and bypasses it as relays built in. So they can transmit on the same coax, and when that transmit RF hits the preamp, it triggers the relays and bypasses it and prevents damage to the preamp and allows the transmit signal to go out. Those are expensive. When you start doing that kind of stuff, that gets expensive.
That's very interesting. Is that something that somebody could purchase just like right off of DX Engineering? Like what would we look for on that?
There's a German company, and I don't know the correct pronunciation. It may be Kuhn, it may be Kuhne, but it's Kuhne Electronic, Kuhn Electronic, Kuhne. They'd be one of the first places to look for that sort of a thing. Otherwise, talking with some of the guys that do the nightly VHF and UHF single sideband nets, or the 8 o'clock in the morning beam spinners net on 144.2 would be were to ask more about that. I've never shopped for those kinds of things myself. I'm just aware of their existence.
All right, that's good info. Thanks, Greg. Does anyone else have anything additional to add to this topic?
SBO.
I've got two of you in there, but I picked out FBO. Go ahead with your question or your additional information.
Okay, WA9FBO. I have sort of a contrarian view, but I'm an old guy. And many years ago when I played with repeaters, receive sensitivities were 0.3, 0.2 microvolts. A preamp made sense. Today's repeaters are hot, like less than a tenth of a microvolt. And sitting right next to that receiver, you've got a transmitter that you are attempting to keep out of that receiver. If you put a preamp on the receiver, you're expecting that much more performance out of the duplexer. Now, if the transmitter is only 10 or 20 watts, this may not be an issue, but if you've got a 100-watt transmitter and it's connected to a duplexer, and then you've got a 0.08 microvolt receiver also connected to the duplexer, that duplexer better be, 100 dB or something. So, don't have the calculations in front of me here, but you just don't want to get PSANs over.
And George, I'm not sure if you've got anything further that you wanted to respond to about that, but if you do, go ahead.
I'm just soaking it in. Let's go for the other double. K3SAD, clear.
Go ahead, doubling station.
This is W1VAN. A couple of the repeaters I have has what they call a pre-selector on it, and that's another narrowing filter so that you're using the duplexer to combine to the single antenna. But also using the pre-selector is nulling out any other frequencies. So anyway, that's what we're using as a pre-selector, not a pre-amplifier.
Thanks for that, Ivan. Does anyone else have anything additional for this topic? George, anything further from you?
No, I'm still soaking it in and frantically Googling. That's where I'm at. K3SAB, back to net.
All right, sounds good. Hopefully you got everything you needed. Does anybody else have any other topics for the net tonight?
EMP, I have a question for Ivan.
All right, Ivan, or George, sorry, Greg, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, Ivan, is your repeater at the top of Crystal Lake Resorts, is that still online?
W1VAN. It's operating, but it's not online. The cellular service I was using there, we disconnected it for the winter time, but hopefully springtime again we'll get the internet back up and working again. But what I use there is a cellular hotspot and take the data off of that to put it online. But it's a standalone repeater at this point.
Could you let me know the in and out and tone on that?
Give me one moment. I believe it's 447.6 and a negative offset, and it's analog also. It's a dual mode analog and DMR. Color code is 2 for DMR, and analog it's 103.5.
Thanks, and 0EMP.
And that is listed on your on the NCARC website. If you need to reference it, just go to the other repeaters tab.
Okay, thank you, and 0EMP.
All right, this is K0HAK Net Control for tonight's NCARC TechNet. Does anyone else have anything else? Sorry, I guess that was kind of a closed conversation there. Does anyone else have any other topics for tonight's TechNet?
ZPY.
ZPY, go ahead.
Yeah, this is KC0ZPY. I had a friend ask me today about external antenna for an HT. So he has a Yaesu FT60R, I believe, and he's trying to get some better reception. And of course, there's a longer whip antenna. But does anybody have any recommendations about maybe a larger antenna that he could put outside his house, or is the 10-watt limitation not a good idea to do that on a larger antenna?
KJM.
Go ahead, Kyle.
W0KJM. Yeah, for HT, I have a couple of roll-up J-poles that fit into a cargo pocket, real handy-dandy, and you can just throw those on a BNC connector if you have a BNC adapter on the HT. Throw that up in a tree real quick-like, and boom, you're off to the races, and it works wonderfully. They're fairly inexpensive. There's two that I know of off the top of my head. There's the Edfong J-poles, and then there's the November 9 Tango Alpha X-Ray N9 TAX J-poles. I only have the N9 TAX version. I have two of them, and they work phenomenally for actually quite a while. That's what I was using on my base station in the ham shack, and it worked wonderfully.
Oh, that's great. I've already pulled up the website. Thank you.
EMP. 0KJM, back to net.
Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, any external antenna will help with an HT. It's fine to run 10 watts into a big antenna. Usually you run 5 watts here to get into the repeater. You can use a diamond. If the HT is a dual band, I think he said it was a FT60 would be a dual band. So any dual band antenna, if he's wanting a more permanent installation for his house, you could do a Diamond X30 or a Diamond X50 or the Comet equivalents to those. If he has metal rain gutters, he could take a dual band mobile whip of the sort that is supposed to mount on a vehicle, and he could mount it to the rain gutter instead, and that would work just fine as well. Be a little less obtrusive than the diamond antenna, than the big X30s or X50s would be. Any of those is going to help both with his reception and with getting out and 0 EMP.
Thank you. Yeah, I have been using a Diamond X50 and then later an X300, but I was using it for a 50-watt radio, and so I've never tried it with an HT with 5 or 10 watts, so sounds like that's no problem at all. So thanks for your answers. This is KC0ZPY, back to net.
W1VAM.
Go ahead, Ivan.
Oh, you just gave me a great thought there for the HOA. If you was to punch a hole, whatever the 3/4 inch hole in the rain gutter in the bottom of it and thread one of those enamel mounts in there that's waterproof anyway, that shouldn't spill out of the rain gutter, but then just screw a regular mobile antenna on there. I wonder if that would pass through a HOA.
It probably works until you get that nasty gram. One thing I'd like to maybe just add as a suggestion, when you're wiring into an external antenna like that, just an item of convenience for an HT might be to get a little handheld mic, kind of like you have on a mobile radio. Just kind of would help you keep from disturbing that coax too much or putting too much pressure on the connector on the handheld, if you can keep that handheld stationary while you're talking. So that's just my suggestion there. Does anybody else have anything they want to add to this topic?
BNK.
Go ahead, BNK.
N0BNK. I want to test my theory. I have a ICOM 706 Mark II-G with an AH4 tuner made for that radio and made for a random wire antenna. But I'm running a 102-inch whip on there, which several people do, but it seems like it's not pulling the signals in. It's not working like it should. And it's in a Jeep Wrangler. The body is all bonded together. There's none going to the frame or the exhaust, but the body has got bonding everywhere. So I think the antenna is just too short to make it work right. And I put a 40-foot or 41-foot piece on there with wire and string it in the trees. It works really good. So either I don't have enough ground plane for the one thing, or the antenna is just too short.
Why?
Go ahead, Bart.
Yeah, it would be pretty short for anything other than 10 meters. Rick, I wanted to let you know, in the course of that last transmission, your signal level went from, or your audio anyway, went from really, really strong to almost zero at the end of that transmission. Your audio just steadily went down. Couldn't hear you anymore. And zero in my way. Back to that.
Yes, sir. This is K0HAK, net control for the NCARC TechNet. There was a station that sounded like they may have been trying to get in. Can you come again? Go ahead.
A gentleman with the HT, I live in an HOA as well, and the secret to doing all this is keeping your antenna hidden. So I don't know if you have any trees. You can put a very small little, like a mobile whip in a tree, and it actually works quite well. It's not going to be as good as if it's attached to like a metal rain gutter or something, but I've done that for years, and it works actually very well. The only thing you got to worry about is, depending upon how far away your tree is from your HT, you're going to get lost in the coax, especially up on 440. It'll be significant. So you may not gain a whole lot, but just keep in mind that with the HOA, you just want to keep things out of view.
W1VAM.
Go ahead, Ivan.
Yeah, I've shared this before, but take an X50 and put it in the vent pipe of the riser for the toilet back above the roof, and I put like a ball. It's all encased in a piece of PVC pipe, and from the ground it just looks like somebody forgot to cut off the stack down. Like 12 inches off the roof. So mine's quite a bit taller, and it has some ground planes coming out the bottom of the stack there, but nobody's questioned it. It blends right in.
Yeah, I love these creative ways of getting around the HOA rules and regulations. Does anyone else have any? I want to just circle back around to the discussion about the ICOM AH4 that Rick was bringing up. Does anybody else have any other thoughts on that one?
EMP.
Greg, you came in stronger than Ivan, so I'm going to call on you first.
Yeah, it's my understanding that with these automatic tuners, it's really ideal to have at least a quarter wavelength on the lowest frequency you want to operate on. So like Bart had said earlier, for that 102-inch whip, that's pretty much just 10 meters, so, 10 and 6. So, quarter wave of wire on your lowest frequency and 0 EMP.
Yeah, he said pretty much exactly what I was going to. It's tuned for 10 meters right now, and when you put that extra piece of wire on there, it's easier for the antenna tuner for it to tune and not lose all of its power on the transmit side there. So you got to get the antenna somewhat close before the antenna tuner can do its trick.
Okay, that's pretty much what I was thinking. Thanks, guys. N0BNK.
N0KIN.
N0KIN. I've got you in the logs with a check-in.
I'd like to throw a comment along with what's going on here.
Go ahead with your comment.
Radio Dan runs 102 in an AH4 and runs 20 meters regularly out of his truck, if that helps anyone.
Well, there's something going on. I did find a bunch of moisture got in there and discolored everything, but I cleaned it all up. Seemed to improve it, but I used it on 17 and 20 before, but it's just, I don't know, there's something fishy going on with it right now. It's not one to perform. I'll have to check out some other things, I guess. N0BNK.
Sounded like we had a double in there. Go ahead, doubling station. I was going to make a comment that Dan's pounding CW, not voice, so it's a little easier to resonate on that antenna problem.
Thanks for that input there, Ivan. Rick, anything else from you? Did you get what you needed out of that?
Yes, sir. It pretty much confirmed what I was thinking. So I just wanted to throw it out there, and because I know there's people to do it, and but anyway, I'll go back to NAT, N0BNK.
All right, this is K0HAK, net control for tonight's NCARC TechNet. Does anyone else have any other topics they would like to bring up for the net? Any late check-ins for the net?
K0AZA, Kilo Zero Alpha Zulu Alpha, Ron, late check-in.
Kilo Foxtrot 0, Quebec Golf Tango, John and Eaton, just a late check-in.
Whiskey 8 Lima, Tim and Windsor.
Ron, I've got you in there, K0AZA. John, could you come back with your call sign? I got KF0.
Yeah, Kilo Foxtrot 0, Quebec Golf Tango, QGT.
Quebec Golf Tango, got you in there. Tim, I got you in there. Any other late check-ins for the night? All right, hearing none, this concludes the NCARC TechNet. Net Control would like to thank each station for their participation. We had a total of 27 check-ins tonight. This net will occur again next Monday at the same time on this repeater. This is K0HAK, closing the net at 6:39. 7-3, and good night, everyone.
This presentation was brought to you by the Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club. For more information, visit our website, ncarc.net. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.